Hi guys, G.I. Joe here, and welcome back to my bunker here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's been a while since I've seen you guys. Hope everybody is doing well here this late spring, heading on into summer. But I just want to do a channel update. I know it's been a while since I've talked to you guys, but there has been a lot going on. Unfortunately, I just haven't been able to do as many videos as I would like to here recently, other than maybe a couple YouTube board games that I've played in here, but just wanted to pop in and kind of let you know what's going on. So first of all, welcome back if it's your first time viewing this channel here lately. As far as what I'm wearing, stay tuned. I'm about to tell you about this here in just a minute, but we'll talk about that in just a minute as far as why I'm wearing this jacket. I guess the question is, you might know what jacket this is. That's my question. Does anybody know what this is? And maybe type it in the chat, see if you know. And no prize, nothing like that, but see if you history buffs know what this is. But I'll reveal what this is here in just a minute and why I'm wearing it. So first of all, I'll talk about what's been going on. Have been doing some playing, both play testing and just with some friends. Who is that? Oh man, my eyes are bad. Yes, how you doing? So, have been doing some playing. We've been doing some play testing, myself and Sire Blood, about play testing BB5. And we're play testing some different rules. I don't want to diverge everything that's going on right now because it's not hardcore set as far as the BB5 rule adjustments or those kinds of things, but I may give a sneak peek into some things we're considering, or that Sire is considering, I should say. But of course, we play tested back in early May. I think it was May 7th or May 8th, whatever Saturday it was. But it was actually Battle of the Coral Sea Day, and it was at Lieutenant Dan's house. He hosted myself, Sire Blood, and a couple of other local friends here in Atlanta. And we play tested a few of the BB5 rules that we're considering on a fantastic table from Lieutenant Dan. So if you haven't checked out Lieutenant Dan's table, you want to definitely go check out his YouTube channel, rather. Not website, but YouTube channel. He has a fantastic table there, and I think you'll definitely like it. Hello, how you doing? Yes, how you doing? Chaplain. Good to see you, sir. So yeah, we have been doing some BB5 play testing, and some of the things that we play tested, we tried once and decided we didn't like it. So, but some of the things we play tested, and they seemed to be pretty good, so we kept tweaking it. And I know that Sire Blood myself have play tested some items on BB5, and then we play tested, like I said, a couple weeks back at Lieutenant Dan's with several of our Atlanta folks. And then I know VK Cowboy out in Oklahoma, he had some guys over, I think Hambone, Parker, a couple other guys, went out to his place in Oklahoma, and they play tested some BB5 things as well that Sire Blood had sent them. So, and they gave us some great data. And so I think Sire's going to be doing some updates and updating the rule book, and maybe doing something on his channel about what those changes might be. But there are some updates forthcoming now. As far as what those are, we've considered some things. I guess if Sire doesn't mind, I'll go ahead and talk to you about some things that we know, or we're, they say never or never say always, but I think we're pretty sure on a couple of these things. For instance, minor changes like with China. If we all know that there's a fighter in China, right? And something I brought up, and I was just curious, this isn't a game changer or anything, it's just more out of interest. And I was like, Sire, why can't the China fighter defend the China coast? It doesn't make sense to me. So that's something that we're really looking at. And what that means is that if that is implemented officially, that the Chinese fighter would be able to defend, or attack, I should say, Sea Zone 19, 20, and 36. That would be any sea zone that is adjacent to a Chinese territory. The caveat being that the fighter has to have the ability to land back in a Chinese or Allied controlled territory at the end of its move, okay? So just gives a little bit of twist for China to do if they want to try to pop a lone Japanese transport, those kinds of things. So that's definitely something. We're looking at something with not the naval blockade, but bombardment, which I'll save that for Sire Blood. You know, I don't want to toot his, I don't want to blow the cover here on some of his thoughts and ideas. Some other things regarding Turkey. So some other things, slight twist to the Spain thing. We're also looking at some potential boosting to Russia as well. Yes, no more lone Japanese transports. Not if that Chinese fighter is within two zones away. So you're probably safe in the first round there, Chaplain, since the Chinese fighter is in Sichuan, and there's no way it can get to C-zone 19, 20, or 36 and still make it back to land in a Chinese territory or Allied territory. Yeah, I think that's a fair rule as well. Again, it's not a game changer with a Chinese fighter, but it just kind of throws China a bone a little bit. You know, gives them a few more options. If you remember, 1 or 2 versions ago, we opened up Southeast Asia to China, where they can go in there, they can non-com, they can attack into Southeast Asia. They just cannot spawn there. So that gives China a little bit more influence in the Asian continent. So there's that. Of course, I'm probably forgetting some things here, but some national objectives, some VP changes. We'll talk about those, or I'll let Sire talk about what those VP changes might be. I don't think there's anything that's, well, actually there is one I think that we're play testing, and that is getting rid of the new roam point. Those of you that are BBR veterans, I think he's wanting to get rid of the new roam point, which if you've played BBR enough, you know that VP is kind of rare. It doesn't really happen that often for the Axis. And the Mediterranean point is very, very easy to get in late game for the Axis. So as the discussion is now, the new roam point will go away. It will be replaced with the South Africa point, which would be the Axis controlling both Johannesburg and Southwest Africa. So if you look on your BB4 map, you'll see that Southwest Africa and Union of South Africa, those bottom 2 territories in Africa, both have the Commonwealth roundel. So if both of those are controlled by the Axis, that will be a victory point. And the intention is to make it to where, if the Axis spend the resources down there to go to get that it's actually worth something. So again, the new roam point would go away. For the Mediterranean point, however, it would still be a point, but it would be altered or not as easy to get. For instance, looking at the original Mediterranean point, which is all the islands in the Mediterranean being Axis controlled, or Crete not being Allied controlled, along with 3 of the 4 ports. So essentially combining the Italian national objective of 3 naval ports in the Mediterranean, which would be Gibraltar, South France, Greece, or Egypt. So having control of 3 of those 4, plus those islands in the Mediterranean. That means you truly have control of the Mediterranean. Because what we were finding is that you could have a huge Allied naval fleet perched in 92, 93, or C-Zone 94, and yet the Mediterranean point would, in theory, could still be obtained by the Axis, which seems a little bit unrealistic to have if you have a large naval fleet in those 3 sea zones. So that's kind of what he's looking at that. And there are some other tweaks. I'm not saying everything. This is not a comprehensive list by any means. But so definitely be looking out for some changes on the BB5 rules and map. Now, speaking of map, Sire did everything taking into consideration everybody's request for, if possible, not a map change. There is going to be, looks like, a map change involving something around Turkey, along with the VP added for South Africa. However, having said that, go Giants! Corpo! Yeah, Giants need Wait, well, let me do my Jeffrey Leonard one flap down here. Who's this? Who's this, Corpo? Anyway, sorry, just razzing my friend Corpo there in San Francisco. I'm a Cardinal fan. He's a Giants fan. So, but yeah, it looks like there's going to have to be a map change, or he wants to do a map change because of something that's going to change with Turkey. The good news is there's not tons of stuff changing on the map, but so if you have the BB4 map, you can easily play BB5 without having to purchase or print a new map. You can simply, with tape or a Sharpie or chips or something like that, you can easily make the minor changes that he's looking at making, okay? So don't worry about that, all right? So that's for BB5. I don't want to give away anything else. I probably have done too much thus far regarding the BB5 stuff. But let's talk about a few other things here before we maybe take some questions or get going. So what else have I been doing other than play testing BB5 stuff? I've been working on a fantastic project that I've kind of talked to a few close friends here about. They know what I'm talking about. And the project is involving the Midway game from HBG. And that's all I'm going to say right now regarding that. It is in development, this project. I have sent my what I'm doing to some trusted people in the community that I trust to get their opinions on ease of, well, I don't want to give away too much information here, but and so I've made a lot of changes. This is all a concept that I've been thinking of for a while, and I'm currently working through one pretty major hurdle. And once I get past this hurdle, I've already started the project, and I've got one hurdle to get over. And when I get over this hurdle, it's going to go a lot faster to completion. So I hope to have this thing done. I don't want to give you a time frame here, but soon. We'll just say soon. So be looking for a video in the near coming future, hopefully soon, regarding the Midway game. Oh, Chaplain. Of course you're trustworthy, Chaplain. I just, I didn't know you were into Midway. I talked to some people that I knew were into the Midway game because I needed their input. So no offense there. And if you're into Midway, I didn't know that. I know you've been doing the whole BBR thing. And by the way, thanks, Chaplain, for hosting a great tournament up there in St. Louis, helping to spread the BBR love throughout the community. So nice job. Well done. So that's my Midway game project with HBG. Be looking out for it. Again, getting over one big hurdle. I say big hurdle. It's a hurdle, and I've almost gotten over that hurdle. And as soon as I get over that hurdle, it's going to be kind of downhill after that. And then I think you're really going to like it. I've showed it to Sired Blood, whom I respect immensely, along with several of you guys, of course. But he's pretty stoked about what it is. And so I'm excited to show you whenever I get that completed. All right? So stay tuned for that. Next thing is I purchased some pieces a while back from a couple different vendors, and I want to show them to you. I finally got them painted and dipped. And so I just want to kind of blow through these real quick. Of course, I bought my second set of Shapeways carriers for Japan. So this is the Hiro Butai, you know, the same set that was destroyed at Midway. So you have the Kaga, the Akagi, and the detail is fantastic. Kaga, Akagi, the Hiryu, the Soryu, and I just love the detail of Shapeways carriers. And I think I actually showed these to you guys earlier when I bought them, but I just didn't have them painted. I think they might have just been the clear plastic or that. But anyways, I got them magnetized. I've got them dipped. These are ready to go on the table. I also got this from Shapeways. I think this is the, what is this? Amagi Battle Cruiser, whatever, which I think looked kind of sweet. I don't know if you can see that or not. But so that's my Japanese Amagi. And then of course I got the Musashi. These are from, those are from Shapeways, by the way. This is from, I think, HBG. I know it is HBG actually. This is the Musashi or the Super Yamato. And so I got these. And to compare with my current see, they're just a little bit bigger. just a little bit bigger. Not tons, but you know, I'm kind of a glutton for pieces, kind of like ham bone, kind of digs that. But these are great pieces. I have 2 of them. So I got these all kind of painted up and dipped those last night. So kind of digging those, really nice. And then the last thing in my Japanese fleet that I got is actually thanks to Colonel Teff. Aloha, Colonel Teff, if you're watching out there in Hawaii. He was gracious enough to gift me 2 of these units, doing a little project for him. And so I want to give a shout out to Colonel Teff and just say thank you, sir. And this is a Chitose. It was it's actually for a seaplane. And eventually this was turned into a carrier, a light carrier, I think, in World War II. But what I did was, I mean, just got a cool profile. Let's see if you can see that. But it's very cool. And what I did was, I kind of cut a slit in this little decking right here underneath it. And I was able to throw a magnet in there. So boom, look at that. I can even throw a little magnetized plane on that little carrier, on that little deck there. So thanks to Colonel Teff for that. In my American fleet, I got this sculpt, which I already had. I think this is the New Mexico, which is also a couple of other. There's what was the Idaho class? I can't remember. I have to look on Shapeways. I wrote them down on a piece of paper, but I am going to label them on the bottom so I don't forget. But this is it's the same sculpt as my New Mexico class battleship. But you know, as you know, in World War II, they had classes of battleships, and you might have 3 or 4 different battleships all in the same class. And then I think this is California. These are all battleships that were around during Pearl Harbor. I can't remember which is which. I think one's California, one's a Maryland. But all great Shapeways sculpts. And then the last thing for my UK is I have UK. I got the, what is this? Revenge? No, Rodney. HMS Rodney. I think that's Rodney. Yeah, I already have one of these. So I got this one. I have 2 tables, and so you know, I don't need 2 US or HMS Rodney, so I just got this one for my second table. And then, of course, I got, Shapeways had a set of these. These are 3. These are the Repulse. They're all the same sculpt. The Repulse, the Renown, and the Hood. HMS Hood, HMS Repulse, HMS Renown. So, just going to add those to the fleet, you know, in the same BBR weathering sculpt. And the other sculpts I have before I kind of go on to my last closing thoughts here, from Rich at Combat Miniatures. I was looking through his site here a while back, and I found these incredible sculpts, 3D printed, of some Italian units. And I hate my Italian artillery. And so he had some fantastic Italian artillery there. And so check these out. I think Hambone had some of these ordered in as well. And forgive my, whatever. I don't even know. I know. Put your finger behind it. It's still not working. But these sculpts are amazing. I had them painted up and dipped last night. But those are really good detailed. I'm not sure how well you can focus in on that. Of course, I don't know if it's blurry because it's my camera. Of course, my eyes are so bad that it looks blurry regardless of how well my camera is focusing. But so that's that. And of course, these nice Italian tanks, which kind of look like the ones I got from my Will Never Grow Up. But I definitely like these. I also hate the out-of-box Italian tanks. I don't know if anybody else feels me there, but the Italian tanks are terrible. All right, so that's that. So again, thanks to Colonel Teff for the kind gift and gesture on the Chitose. And now, so as far as why am I wearing this garb, can anybody tell me first of all what this is? Anybody? Okay, I know some of you might be watching this later, but for those couple of you that might be live, can you tell me what this is? Let me stand up so you can see. Chaplain, any guesses? What is this? And I'll tell you why I have it on in a minute. All right? I'm going to give it away. And That should be a dead ringer right there. Yes, this is the M42 jump jacket worn by the paratroopers on D-Day. And 101st Airborne, 82nd Airborne jumping into Normandy. They wore this. A warm-up bullpen jacket. Wow. Nice, Corpo. So, yes, so this is a M42 jacket. You may recognize the big, so if you watch Band of Brothers, you're going to see this jacket on there. You may see some of them have patches. They're called reinforced jackets. A lot of the guys would put patches on the elbows because the material, it looks like it's a denim or jean, but it's not. It's kind of it's really not that thin. It's just like a thicker shirt kind of material. And but they would put patches here on the elbows and on the knees and such, or even below the pockets here, because on jumps and stuff, sometimes just the weight of the gravity would cause these to tear and rip. So they would reinforce them sometimes. So you might see some video or pictures of this jacket with just like I'm wearing now, or you might see patches on it, which is reinforced. So sometimes they would even take pockets and they would sew them on here. But why am I wearing this? I'll give you another hint. It's associated with this book and this book, which are two books that I purchased here not too long ago. And I don't know if this is a mirror image, so you can't read this, but one is called Angels of Mercy. It's by a gentleman named Paul Woodage. He is a guide in France, World War II history guide. He actually has a YouTube channel called the World War II channel. So you might want to check him out on YouTube. Does great stuff, very well known. And this book just came out here. I pre-ordered it. It came in here about a week ago. Fierce Valor. It's a book involving or regarding Ronald Spears. So if you watch Band of Brothers set, you will remember a gentleman who was in D Company originally, named Ronald Spears. And if you remember the attack on Foy, you'll remember that Lieutenant or Captain Winters told Lieutenant Dyke, to take the charge on in. He had a meltdown by the haystack on the way in, and so he started to run in, and then he was told by his commanding officer to stand down, and so he turned to Spears and said, "Spears, take the attack on in." And so from that point forward, Spears was the CO of Easy Company from the attack of Foy all the way to the end of the war, and incidentally ended up becoming the commandant or whatever you want to of the Spandau prison in Germany. Anyways, this is a book about him, and you may recall in the D-Day episode, Day of Days, the second episode, there's a conjecture as to whether he killed prisoners on D-Day and whether he actually killed one of his own soldiers. And so supposedly that is addressed in this book. So I haven't dove into this yet. This just came in a couple days ago. Haven't had time to read it yet, but these are two books that I'm starting to read and research in. And the reason why all this tying together is yours truly, G.I. Joe, is going to be invading Normandy, France. Yes, you heard it here. I will be invading Normandy, France. Operation Overlord 2.0 in June 19th through the 26th. I and a friend of mine, we're leading a tour. Some other guys, and the gentleman that I'm leading the tour with, his father actually fought in Normandy, France. Came across Utah Beach, and he's actually the same age as I am, and yet his father, who has passed here since then, of course, actually fought in Normandy. He was the youngest of his brothers. His older brothers are kind of Vietnam vet age people. So, so anyways, we're gonna be leading a tour in Normandy, and I'm excited. And my plan is to go live via Normandy. And so, where are we gonna go? We're going to go to, of course, the Utah Beach region. We're gonna go to the Omaha Beach region, and we're gonna spend an entire week there. I've already done this twice. I know the area really well. I've driven all of these country roads, met some of the locals, been into a mayor's house, met restaurant owners who supposedly his father's the one that John Steele was a prisoner of war in St. Mary Glees after he landed on the church steeple, supposedly. Met just fantastic people, and there's so many stories I could tell you, and maybe I'll do a video at another time just to tell you some of my Normandy stories that I already have experienced that are pretty overwhelming. But so my plan is to go, when we're in Normandy, we're going to visit places like, of course, the cemetery in Colville-sur-Mer, the American Cemetery. We're going to visit Omaha Beach. We're going to visit Utah Beach. We're going to visit WN 62, WN 73, the Vierville Draw, which is the section of the beach where Saving Private Ryan is based off of. Captain, I think, Tom Hanks played Captain Miller, which is a loosely based off of Captain Goranson, who was a ranger, who actually didn't land at that area. He landed a little bit west of there, but that area of the beach, Vierville Draw, is where the Bedford Boys, if you've ever read that book, if not, you need to get it. It's fantastic. The Bedford Boys landed, and that's essentially, those are the boys from Bedford, Virginia, and that's where the D-Day Memorial is, because Bedford, Virginia has the highest per capita loss on D-Day of any spot in the country. So almost an entire generation of young men were wiped out in 5 minutes. So we're going to Vierville Draw. We'll be going to Pointe du Hoc, which is absolutely stunningly gorgeous. Wow. We're going to be going to, of course, St. Mary Glees, Sainte Marie de Mont, St. Colme de Mont, Dead Man's Corner, Carentan, Purple Heart Lane, the Lieutenant Meehan crash site. We're going to be passing by the intersection where, if you remember Band of Brothers, where on the night of D-Day, where Lieutenant Winters came across the wagon train of Germans in the middle of the night, and that's when he supposedly didn't have a gun, and they wasted them, and Garnier shot without permission, those kinds of things. So it actually wasn't at a bridge. It was just a T intersection, which I'll show you that. Of course, we're going to go to Pegasus Bridge in the British sector. We're going to go to Arromanches, where the Mulberry Harbor is. Perhaps go to, man, there's just so many places to go to. Carentan, maybe see where Bloody Gulch was. And the attack from Easy Company from the south going into Carentan can take you into there. Man, just so many places. And I'm trying to think. Oh, Angleville, the church. This book, by the way, is based on the church. If you remember, in the D-Day Band of Brothers, at the end of the second episode, Day of Days, they're in Sainte Marie de Mont. If you don't know, that's where they are. And there's a monologue there by Lieutenant Winters where he's talking about, how he lost Hall, how at that day, he prayed, thank you for helping me get to this day and help me to get to the next day. And then later on that night, they got together, they head down to this one area, it was close to this place called Angleville. And this is where a church was, and such an interesting story. We're going to be shooting a live video from here, and it's a compelling story about two medics, one of which was only 19 years old, and the decisions that he had to make on D-Day in the couple of days subsequent after that. So I'm excited to be showing some live videos again. That'll be June 19th. We'll be arriving actually on the 20th. Keep in mind that France is 6 hours ahead of Eastern U.S. time. So for instance, if it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon, here on the East Coast, it'll be 6 p.m. in France. So if you're Central Time, it'll be 7 hours ahead. So typically we start our tours about 9 in the morning, 8 or 9 in the morning, or about 9 in the morning after breakfast, and we'll go till 5, 6, 7 at night. So we'll probably start shooting a video sometime, as far as the States are concerned, 3 or 4 in the morning, and then all the way into the evening. Oh, Lafayette Bridge. We're going to be going to Lafayette Bridge, which is just west of St. Mary-Glees, which is where a couple things. One, if you've seen The Longest Day, John Wayne plays Forgot his name. Holy cow. He talks about, well, if we land here, if we go too far this way, we drown in water. We go too far this way, we land in Germans. That was essentially the Lafayette Bridge area. And there were some Silver Stars awarded there. In fact, I met a gentleman here not far from where I live whose father-in-law won a Silver Star at the Lafayette Bridge. So I talked to him a lot of times and got some information on him. So, man, lots of good stuff. Spoilers. What kind of spoilers do you want, Chaplain? Spoilers. But anyway, some great stuff, and I can't wait to shoot you live again. It'll be June. We'll leave on the 19th. We'll be arriving in France on the 20th. So we'll be looking for some live videos from June 20th to June 25th, because the 26th we fly back here to the States. So June 20th to June 25th, check my channel for some live updates from Normandy, France. We'll be in St. Mary-Glise. We'll be in museums all over. And not just like, hey, look, this is where we are. But I try to do my best to impart what little knowledge I have to those that are going with us to make sure that they understand some of the personal stories that kind of make those areas kind of come to life. Spoiling Band of Brothers. Why, have you not seen Band of Brothers? I've only seen it about 482 times. Oh, okay. You haven't seen it. Yeah, it's been up like 21 years. I think it came out in 2001. Of course, Chaplain, you might have been, what, 4 years old then? So I'm an old guy. All right, so that's it, guys. Again, recapping, if you came in late, recapping is BB5 playtests have been happening, updates, official updates into the cards rulebook. You want to check sireblood.com/community for those updates. They have been in play testing. I talked about some of them previously on this video, so if you want to go back, if you missed it, check that out. There will be, looks like a couple map changes, but you can play BB5 on your BB4 map, okay? You can easily alter your map with some chips or a marker or some tape or something. I showed off my new pieces, may or may not care about that. And of course, why am I dressed like a paratrooper? Because I'm heading to Normandy, France, and we'll be jumping in, hopefully not parachuting in, because that means something went terribly wrong with our flight over there. So hopefully, praying to the good Lord that nothing like that happens. We get to land safely and then drive on out to Normandy. It's about a 4-hour drive from Paris. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. And if we don't see you before then, if I don't chime in between now and June 19th, I hope to, but if I don't, definitely be on the lookout for those live Normandy videos from June 20th to 25. And also don't forget, I have a Midway project in the works. I think you're gonna like it. It's gonna be one of a kind for sure. But thanks for watching, guys. Thanks, Chaplain. And we'll see you. Type in the comments. I guess, well, it's too late. I've already told you what this jacket is. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time. I guess, you know what, before I sign off, see if I have here, are there any questions? I know some of you may have come in late. Any questions about anything? We talked about BB5, some possible changes, anything like that? No, if not, I'll go ahead and sign off. Alrighty, and there might be a delay here, so but you might be typing, and by the time it registers, I've already signed off. But anyways, if you have any questions, type them in the chat down below, and I'll be happy to answer those questions regarding BB5, at least what I know thus far. Oh, by the way, all this is leading towards the tournament in September. As far as registration, I'll leave that discussion for Sired Blood, but not sure when he's going to announce that. I do know that those who have attended in the past have first invitation, and so I'm not sure exactly how he's doing that, but First invitation to go to those who've done in the past, who've come in the past, and then if you're attached to somebody who has come in the past, as a partner, those kinds of things. And then if space comes available or people aren't able to make it, then of course it opened up to open registration.